pit lane interview. Wayne Healy. Joel's just dropped him. He's sack flicked him.
I'm Chris Buckley, and I'm Wayne Healy, and this is HQ Extra. Welcome to HQ Extra. I'm Wayne Healy, and joining me tonight is a full list of people here. Bucko, Glenn Deering and Macca. Welcome everybody, and welcome to the show. Congratulations.
Thanks, mate.
Straight out the gate.
Straight out the gate, mate. No, don't wait for it. He's the...
We don't know who this guy is.
Glenn Deering. Australian?
Australian?
No, not Australian. New South Wales. Screwed up there. New South Wales champion, Glenn Deering.
It says.
There he is.
New South Wales state champion.
Also got Ian McLean, race winner.
Race winner.
HQ Holden race winner.
And Wayne Hollywood Healy, who's...
Non-race winner.
Non-race winner. I see. It's a stitch up. I'll start here. I'll just drink my drink and just you do the show. Bucko, and we have Bucko, HQ champion winner as well. So I see the pattern here. There is a pattern here.
Is there? Championship winner. Championship winner. Hopwood race winner.
I won a few grand finals in soccer.
It's good. It's good. It's not a soccer show. So.
Hey mate, what about 100 metre sprint in school? I won a few of them.
Everyone gets a ribbon at those. You know that.
Oh, speaking of ribbons.
Oh, straight into that too.
Straight into that.
Congratulations,
Thank
by the way.
you.
It's a
club. I got nominated for Club Person of the Year nomination trophy.
You might want to talk about our sponsors in a sec too.
Yeah, I will. But this is more important. I've got an award. Yeah, a Tough Year Award nominations. These are for nominations. When people come up and see those trophies, I'm going to say, because I was nominated. But in all honesty, we also got HQ Extra, in recognition for supporting HQ Racing New South Wales, we got a lovely plaque there. So on behalf of HQ Extra, thank you very much New South Wales Racing HQs for that lovely photo. And the reason why we do this show is because we get great support as well. And that support is Osborne Transport, Harvey Towing and Mechanical, CR International, Reddy Strip, Kerway Asphalting. We got Asset Plumbing, Command Digital, Hands on First Aid, and Equity Views Construction Group. So without these guys, we're all there. Plenty of room there for more though, for next year, and bigger and better things. But tonight, big show tonight, guys. And again, thank you for joining me, Glenn. Thank you for making the time to come and be with us after the great weekend you just had. Bucko, you're a champion. Glenn, Ian, making that journey down from God's country.
Thank you. Look, quick, I guess, throw out sort of thing. Obviously, we've got Glenn here, and Chris mentioned to us off air that he's the first return visitor. So, for a reason, you've won the state championship. How's it feel?
Yeah, it was a bit of a shock, but like after winning the round at Eastern Creek, you know, it just felt really good, and just it was just wow. There was nothing to top it after that. Like you know.
Well, we'll say before also, Glenn, that you've had a few firsts this year. You've had your first round win, your first race win, and your first championship win.
Jeez, so it's been a big year, hasn't it?
It's been a big year for you, mate. And big congratulations, because as we all know, a lot of effort goes into the championship and just a race win sorry.
You're starting to sound like me.
Just to get a race win's hard enough, but to get a championship, mate, you know, a lot of work and effort goes into that, and I'm sure there's many people you want to thank too.
Lots of work goes into it, and I spend a lot of time on it myself. You know, you call in and see people, like, without people like, you know, Terry, who's drag race cars many years ago. Just gives you little bits of input, and you just try stuff out, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And the guys at CMB, you know, they're always there to help me out, you know, machine work or setting anything up, or any suggestions. I'll just go on whatever they say.
Give it a go.
Yeah, have a go at it.
Well, obviously all those suggestions have come together to get a pretty good package underneath you there. So
Yeah, it's taken a little while to get it there. So we had lots of failures. I think Bob and I were the best at changing head gaskets at one stage. I think we'd do qualifying, change a head gasket. Race 1, change a head gasket. It was head gasket city. So
You're running them on the edge.
yeah, we're just trying to get them to go faster, and it's until you can find that reliability, there's no chance of winning a state champion. It just came together this year, and it just all worked. And
yeah, well, you certainly found the reliability, because that was sort of one of your, you know, was hindering you before was reliability, but this year it just seems to be all come together, and I don't think you've done too many head gaskets this year.
well, it was actually quite funny because at the hot Eastern Creek round, the one-day event, I said to Bob at the end, I said, okay, we've done 2 races, do we do a head gasket change?
just in case.
Yeah, just in case. And he says, just leave it, it'll be all right. And so we did, and then when I got home that night and the next day and checked it, the head gasket was perfect.
Perfect.
So
And a lot of guys might not know who Bob is.
Oh, Bob Hepburn, been around for many, many years.
Yeah, I've heard that name before.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
one of your highlights, not only have you ticked off all those wins and the championship win, winning a race round, but you got Bob back in the car and had a race with him.
Yeah, look, Bob's pretty excited about it, and he's even talking about going to race lemons now. So
He can race it with Morky.
yeah, so it was quite funny, but
Like old times.
he had a great time, you know.
That was good. That's excellent.
So you know, it was good to
well
get him back
too,
in the
didn't
car.
he?
He did,
He did
like
really well.
considering he hadn't been in the car for a long time.
Yeah.
But he was amazed. He got in my car and said, "Oh, that's nothing like I ever drove." He said, "This just goes round corners so well."
You guys are spoiled.
Yes, definitely.
I was actually down the pits there on the Saturday morning, and you could just see he had a smile on his face. He was happy to be there and excited about the racing, which was good to see.
Yeah.
The bloke that's been around for so long and done so much for HQs, it's good to see him back in there and having a crack. And the other guys as well, Peter Dane and Walkie as well.
Yeah.
It was great fun.
Yeah, and Bob comes to every single event with me. If he's in Australia, he's there no matter what. And he's the first person to get his hands in there to change that head gasket and all those hot fingers. And I
He was
think,
the first person to get into your car on the weekend when you had when you blew a dip in the first race on Sunday, which was not expected and sure.
No, Jeff Mulligan down there too. He was
good.
Another return one. He was under the car as well. He loved the weekend.
Yeah, he did. Him and Bob were. I actually got some footage of it there. Him and Bob were under the car. One was on the tail shaft. One was on the brake drums, getting it all off. And because as you probably most people know, Glenn did blow the diff, and I think it was Osborne's helped you out there, didn't they?
Yeah. Brett and Ray were great offering their diff. Just said, here, just take it. And
The old HQ camaraderie. Again.
yeah, the HQ family. It's a great sort of sport to be in.
There's some good photos there. Look at some of those photos up
So
there.
this is Kingswood's days, isn't it? What
This is
year do you
Kingswood
reckon that'd be? 20.
Well, I started. What was it? 03.
Yeah. So that'd be that'd be
So
early.
was it Kingswood you started in or
Yeah,
HQ?
so I started straight in Kingswoods.
Yeah.
So there was no HQs when I started. They'd sort of just changed to Kingswoods, and then HQ started again.
Okay.
But
Whose car was that?
that was Glenn Carter's car. He built that car,
Yep.
and it was a beautiful car. It was file finished. Didn't have an ounce of bog in it. And there's young Jessica as well. Jessica Hepburn.
You just
Hepburn,
replaced that
yeah.
race with, haven't you?
I said to Diane, I said, gee, that looks pretty white, that race.
There's some white there, mate.
It's a bit loose too.
Yeah. Yes, that too. Yeah.
And specs wise, running back to those, so they were 15-inch wheels.
Yeah.
They were
Disc brakes all round?
four-wheel
disc
discs.
brakes,
Four-speed boxes.
gearbox.
Brake bias.
Yeah,
They had
336 diff.
Wade cam.
Yes.
They had open air induction, so you could change your filters. I know there was a lot of modified ones that were in there.
Yeah.
Different suspension package, so they had
we could run a front and rear sway bar, even
rear
though the
sway
rear
bars.
sway bar was terrible.
so there's a whole heap of mods that you'd love to do to a car. If you had a street car, there was a HQ that had two-wheel discs and drums and three-speed.
Yeah.
If you could just spec it up, that's exactly what you built with the HQ.
Yeah, I don't know about the 4-speed, but because you blow more 4-speeds up than you do 3-speed.
Yeah, not as strong.
Yeah, well, it was a V8 4-speed. We used to shorten the front shaft down, but
Yeah.
they just weren't as good.
But that's the thing, like the back in the day when the Kingswoods were starting to sort of come back and the Kiwis running back, all those evolutions didn't actually make them any quicker, which is ironic.
No, it's quite funny, yeah.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, just getting back, a setup and handling of a car was better as a Kingswood or as a HQ?
I think the setup as a HQ is probably a lot better. Maybe the brakes are easier to manage because they're disc brake rear end, so you didn't have to worry about adjustments and stuff because they just worked. You just turned your little bias valve if you needed more rear, and then it was just a bit easier to control the rear.
Yep.
The rear is a really important thing I find to set up a car to get them to stop well.
Yep.
So if you can sort the rear out, you're doing really well.
And
Here's a shot of Pedro in the old days.
yeah. Oran Park?
Yeah, a bit more
Yeah, Oran Park, yeah.
If there's someone out there that Pedro hasn't helped, let me know because I don't think there is. I don't think there is.
And if you own a car, it's probably been built or fixed by at some
put it this
point
way,
in
if you've been
time.
HQ racing the last 10 years or 5 years or whatever, 20 years,
30.
there's a good chance that Pedro's helped you.
Well, Pedro used to build my motors and panel work. I just go drop it off to him, and Bob says, "Oh, gee, that's a good way to do it, isn't it? Instead of doing your own panel work." Now I'm back to doing my own panel work, doing all my own motors and having to go at everything. Now I'm rebuilding a diff.
And that's what I love personally because I'm in the same boat as you and we're all in the
Since
same...
when did you start working on your car?
Oh, don't you start. You don't even know what yours looks like.
I'm the one that paints all your cars and does it. You haven't lifted a finger. Stewie Sprite. Stewie, if you're watching,
Stewie's the legend.
he'll back me up.
I'm quite lucky. Diane doesn't mind me going out in the yard and spending 2 days out in the backyard on a weekend working on a race car.
Loving it.
Very lucky.
Yeah, she's quite happy.
Yeah, she gets some time out.
Yeah, no, it brings me out
Go
lunch.
shopping.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it brings me out lunch and a drink.
I need a new wife.
Yeah.
Oh, careful.
No, actually, I shouldn't say that. She actually makes me very good lunches and she's like that. She just takes me racing. That's right.
So the first, when I first started racing, I think my ex-wife Melissa actually contacted the newspaper and they came out and took these photos and
Oh wow.
did a write-up in the ad. Had a few sponsors over the days.
Victim.
No one really gave me any money.
Just to give you a stick.
Does anyone? Yeah.
Some stickers to put on it to cover something.
Funnily enough, I was watching Days of Thunder last night and that quote came out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't know you had a sponsor? Yeah, you had to get enough to put the stickers on the
Yeah.
car.
I think Wingman was the only one that got anything. I think I got about 20 cases of beer off him, but
Oh, we tried.
One for CB.
yeah.
One
then
for
you hand them out.
One for Terry.
Couple to go. Couple for the car to go to.
We are looking for a product sponsor if anyone's
Alcohol.
any kind. That'll do.
Anything.
So, Glenn, obviously speaking about Bob, was that how you got involved with the racing with Bob?
Well, I was actually living in London at the time, and he found this car. Someone told him about this car. Carl, Jesse's father, told him about this car, and said, maybe you should have a look at this car. $3.5 grand. You get a spare motor, all these panels with it as well. And I thought, yeah, okay. So he went and bought it and said, I can't race it. He said, it's too straight for me. And so I raced it, and I think I put it in the wall at Oran Park coming on and just flattened one whole side of it.
We've got a photo of that.
Oh, have you?
I might see. I might put it on Facebook. I'll pop it up on Facebook. Yeah, it's squared the side.
Squash the whole side of it.
We've all done it though.
Yeah. Well,
You kept
now it's
pushing
got
till you got it.
spaces like this to hold the doors out.
To the B pillar.
We tried to push it out when Matt Breeden and I, because Matt's been like, bouncing stuff off Matt has got me to the next level of where I need to be, because Bob's sort of a bit old school, so he's sort of still mingling around the same old stuff, but you needed new input.
Yeah.
Matt turned up and, you know, he used to drive me crazy some days, but we just sort of did a few different things and tried it. That won't work, and then he tried it on his car and go, oh, that's all right, I'll try that on mine.
Yeah, because
The both of you actually spent a lot of time building your own exhaust, didn't you?
Yeah, well, it's a huge, big effort building exhaust, and like, we've probably built 4 now.
Yep.
And the first one I built, I thought, yeah, that'll work. Matt says, no, I'm building mine this way. So then I said, oh, well, give me yours to try. That worked better. So I said, okay, I'm working off yours. But like without Matt's help, it we wouldn't be where we are now.
Do you find it's just finding that right balance is trickier than racing itself, because you're trying that setup and that exhaust to fit that motor, and then it might work perfectly on that motor, but on another motor it's down in horsepower. Are you finding that once you jump in the car and you go racing, it's a lot easier racing than trying to set up the damn car and get the exhaust right, get the brake, like you said, all those all the setup of the car right. There's a lot more
concentrating on the driving.
I think it takes a few years to get there. Like, you know, the problem is we don't race that often, so you tend to change 3 things and think which bit worked.
Or not.
Instead of just changing one at a time and saying, okay, that worked, that didn't. But you just got to keep going. As I said, head gaskets. Right. We used to do head gaskets. Didn't know what it was, and it ended up being a carby. Was just running lean somewhere, but. You didn't sort of pick that. You try and distributors and all sorts of things. But
like you said, you waste a meeting on one problem, and then the next meeting's 2 months
the same thing
away.
again, yeah. So you just got to continue to go through, and then eventually it just all come together.
I remember your championship year sort of thing. I remember I was talking to you or Ped sort of between meetings, and it's like, so how's Chris gone with his car? He's taking it to the dyno and get mine there. Nah. How about the next meeting? Nah.
I didn't check the timing. All year.
Just went round and round.
Just kept driving it.
And it was bloody quick too.
Stop.
Stuart Lilly was the same that day at the racetrack when he comes second. He says, oh, I'm not touching it. Just leave it. I said, change the aircon. No, I'm not touching it. Don't lift the bonnet.
I used to live at my old man's place in the paddock. I used to get it home, put it off the paddock, leave it in the paddock, come back a month or 2 later, pick it up from the paddock, drive it, race it.
Well, you were doing 1 minute 15s at Wakefield back then, weren't you? 16 was it? Yeah.
Mate, they're doing 1 minute 14s.
Wow,
that was just crazy.
Mate, I was just about to say, the weekend's racing, I don't have the sheets. I think Bucko's got the rundown of New South Wales, which we'll quickly go through soon. But the top 10 cars now, Glenn, is phenomenal times.
It's crazy. Like, I went out in qualifying, did a 1:15.2, which broke my previous lap record, and I thought, oh yeah, that'll be good. Next thing I'm in 5th spot, and you're thinking, how did that happen? But like, you know, Brett's just taken it to another level again. So, you know, it's now do some more work to try and catch him again. Yeah. And he's broken the lap record with a 1:14.9, I think, in the race.
14.9 in the race, but in actual
qualifying
practice, they had.
Practice he did a 14.9.
Yeah.
And then in qualifying it was a 14.53. Like that's.
Yeah. But
fast.
Looking at the times from Brett backwards,
He's still half a second in front of everyone else.
He was, and you don't see that often either. That was a freak, so that worked well. But from there back, I think it was 2 to 6 maybe, would have even been a half a second.
Mate, all the way back to 7th was still a minute 15.
So still in a second.
So if you're not doing minute 15s, I think my quickest lap around Wakefield's is 1:16. So
that was his out lap.
And it's a funny thing. We've got 2 new guys like that. Jared Harbour, he's just new to the category.
It'll be interesting to see him next year.
I know, but he's actually doing minute 17s, and that's actually not slow.
But that's not his good car yet, is it?
Once he gets in Matt's car, that car is faster than mine.
Oh, yeah,
I've driven that car and it's faster than my car. And
I think there you've got youth, but also you've got the excitement. I mean, Jared's jumping out of his skin. He's loving it. But it's not just that. His whole family's loving it. Yeah. His dad, his mum, his sister, they're all there, and his friends, you know. So all of a sudden...
The younger guys are more hungry. You've got Harrison's the same.
Yeah, but how good is it to see the younger guys come in, because these cars aren't young.
I don't know. I'd rather the old blokes win all the time.
Yeah, fair call. Over 40? Over 40? Yeah, we'll take a vote.
Watch my photo. Take it easy.
Sorry, mate. I've got that one.
Look, the way that I'm just looking at the photo here. I just keep seeing Glenn at the front at that night meeting. It was absolutely fantastic. Glenn,
so there you go. That is Glenn's car for anyone that, if you can see that. He's right at the front.
Great photo front.
That is right.
In front of Luke and Matty Barker
and that's me right down the back here.
Yeah.
Where?
Actually, you can only see the 99.
Yeah, that's right.
Great photo.
But I think the HQs have gone through...
Actually, it is a good photo, isn't it?
The night shots are just so amazing.
That's what I wanted to ask you the question.
I'll probably not run my headlights next time. So
I think that's mandatory. You weren't meant to.
Yeah. What did you think about the night racing?
Look, I love the night racing. I've done night racing at Oran Park. We were doing it in the dark, it was called, with the road racing club. And it wasn't as bright as Eastern Creek, but it was a bit... You came around, everything was shiny. And I thought, oh, shit, I hope it's not slippery.
But it lit up the track. I thought it was better than day. Honestly, I thought it was better than daylight.
It was definitely cooler.
That's for sure. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
I'm just going to go through quick some of the results there from that weekend. I'm sorry, from last weekend.
Yep.
The last round of our state championship, we ended up getting 5 rounds in, but we'll start with qualifying. Osborne was on pole.
Do you want to grab the phone and take it off him? Wait.
Can't hear me.
No. Keep just talk loud as you can.
I'll talk as loud as I can, and I'll just get a bit closer to Glenn here on this.
We've had a
Go on, Cuddles.
We've got a microphone malfunction, but yeah, Brett Osborne on pole, Matty Barker second, Chris Moll third, Johnny Baxter in fourth, myself, Glenn Deering in fifth, Dave Proglio, Leighton Cranbrook, Darren Parker, Pedro Marushik.
It's a good thing you can drive a car.
Jason Johnson, Wayne Potts. That's in our top 10.
I'm just looking Maxwell Smart here, just whispering. There you go.
This is why we need. This is why we need more sponsors for next year to get better equipment. Our microphone is just.
Yeah, got it.
Just put it on your shoulder.
That's all good, mate.
He's
You hear
both
me now, Rob? Yeah, good. Anyway, race one.
I laugh if it's Rob's earphones that aren't working. Our producer.
Someone.
Oh, that's it. Right. Talking to his tit.
Okay, race one. Brett Osborne. I think he did clean sweep the weekend, so it was a great comeback from Eastern Creek for Brett. So well done to him.
Massive,
I think there's a lot of work went into that car between those two races. So well done, buddy. Yeah, Brett Osborne, John Baxter, Matty Barker, Chris Moll, Dave Proglio, Glenn Deering, Leighton Cranbrook, Darren Parker, Pedro, and Wayne Potts again running out the top 10. Now, that was race one. Race two, you had a bit of a hiccup, mate.
Yeah,
You were flying, you were going really well.
Yes.
Sitting on the hill there watching you, and all of a sudden the commentator's curse comes along. Oh, Deering's going great.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, he's slowing. There's a problem. Deering's got a problem. He's about to win a championship, and he's got a problem. So
Up round the top, something went bang a couple of times, and I thought, well, it's not worth blowing something up completely. But I slowed up and coming up the hill, and next thing Pedro's come up behind me.
I was going to
Next
mention
thing,
that.
he's pushing me, and he says, I'm going to push for the last 2 laps. He would have.
He would have too.
He would have. He's caved all the front of his car in. And I said, just waved him by. I said, just go by, Pedro. I'm right. I just
How good is he? To do
It's
something like that?
amazing.
Give it away, yeah.
He just, I seen him coming. I seen him come to the hill. I thought, I knew he was going to do it.
Yeah.
I bet you he pushes him, and he tried to push him, and I said, you waved him past.
Push me for 2 laps.
He would have pushed him for 2 laps. That's the kind of bloke he is, mate.
That's unreal. I think we're getting we've been told that we're getting a bit of a windy sound in here. That could be the air conditioning. So,
Oh, it could have been moving the mic.
it could be moving the mic. How's our sound? If someone can let us know now, if that's okay.
And we'll go on to race 2. As I said, you had a bit of a mishap there, but Brett again won that one, and John Baxter moved up into second. He had a change of fortune from his last round as well. Matty Barker, Chris Moll, Dave Proglio, Leighton Cranbrook, Darren Parker, Pedro, Wayne Potts, Jason Johnson. You actually didn't even make the top 10 there. You're in the 11th.
That was when the diff went, that race there. Yeah.
Because Chris Moll was in the hunt there for a bit. He was running Jason's car.
Yep.
So he was in that mix there, and then just dropped a couple of those positions.
Yeah, him and Barker were having a great tussle there for third position that race. Actually, I was watching it, and they were really having a crack. And
Yeah, good.
actually, the top 4 or 5 cars were absolutely on fire. So
Yeah.
it was good to see. We're all worried for you, mate. That's what I got to tell you, mate.
Yeah, look, when we went out to practice, like I was behind Johnny Baxter, and like we were going pretty quick, and it was hard. It was like there was never any spots to overtake anyone. Like so, I imagine those front guys would just be. You're on that limit.
They're on the limit.
You just something's got to make a mistake for you to get past them. Otherwise.
Exactly right. That is right. Yeah, especially that track.
So Daniel DeQuino just said congratulations, Glenn, and you got Leighton just said Pedro would help anyone, even if they hated him, just to see if they can get back on the track, and that is 100% true. 100%
I
true.
agree.
Hey, I've got a question for you though. If Harrison turned up on the weekend, would that of
I think he would have won. He would have won the championship if he turned up.
because you broke the diff? Because then he could have dropped
Yeah,
one.
yes,
His worst
yes.
round wouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Like obviously he used that one, obviously
Yes.
because he's not turning up. But so was that
So
was
it
the
worked
case?
It worked in my advantage because we had an
wasn't he?
issue, and
Yeah.
if he did turn up, we would have.
So he could have won.
So if he
the-
could have run around top
Yeah.
5 even,
Yeah.
he would have got 5.55, sort of thing. Probably would have outdone his worst round and then caught
Yeah,
up
probably.
some
Wow.
points. Yeah.
But look, he'd always be up towards, he'd
Well, at
in our
worst.
group anyway.
Yeah,
so-
at worst.
And he's doing well, isn't he, for the young kids?
Oh, look,
coming
he
through.
can drive that thing.
HQs in New South Wales is very strong for younger ones coming
That's
through.
what I was saying.
The young guys got no fear. They're just
No,
going.
that's
They're
exactly
just
right.
going.
Yeah.
they're not fixing on
Nothing's
themselves though
gonna
either.
stop
Look, the only thing the only thing in the last couple of weeks is, and it's not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to put a sour note. I know there was a bit of damage in a few races, and but a lot of them were racing incidents, and people got to realise the difference between someone smashing into you and a racing incident. You know what I mean? And when you race cars and you race them, it's so close. People got to understand you are going to get damages. Right? There's a lot of people that get out of the car and they're jumping up and down and oh, but he did this and he did that. Well, I'm pretty sure that I haven't known anyone personally, besides him maybe, run into somebody.
Look, I think
I'll
it's-
shoulder
I think
someone,
it's
but I won't run
changed
into someone.
a lot from what it used to be.
Lately, yeah.
Because I used to have a lot more damage than what I do now, and like
The quality of racing is
yes,
picked up.
it's there. It is more of a gentlemanly sort of, you know, you're in
But
front.
is that the difference between the quality of racing up the front in the top 10 toward instead of the back, or is that just because the whole category is picked up?
I think there's and I keep trying to say it again, I keep looking at that photo, but I think we've kind of created a niche. I think HQs have created. You said it was $3.5 grand for a car and a spare motor and stuff like that.
Yes,
you just can't do that
You
nowadays.
can't do something like that.
And the reason for that
Two
is,
cars for $3.5 grand when I started.
yeah, the reason that is the car values have gone up.
Yes.
So I used to think of that as a bad thing, and it could be detrimental. I think we've got the respect now of what they are and what they're about, and you can't just go tearing them up and putting a new panel on it. I saw the XLs as being a competitive class and its entry level and all the rest of it. And I think they've taken the lower entry level versus where we are now, and I think that's a good thing. And the reason for that, I don't know if any of you guys watched the Townsville XL race. They were just crazy. Like you would not have wanted to be on the track with them. They were just
Well, that was like the Utes, wasn't it?
stupidity.
That was like the Utes when they first started. The Utes were, and before they finished, right? They said, "Oh, hey, the V8 supercars and that we don't want the HQs here. You're causing too much damage. Blah, blah, this, that, and the other." And then they said, "Oh, we're going to have the V8 Utes." Well, how much damage did they do?
So I think-
They caused havoc.
I think we've stepped
Every
up
race.
for various reasons,
But anyway, moving on.
which is good. No, as I said, I think it's a really positive thing moving forward.
Probably, I actually learned how to do some panel beating, so that's
There you go.
probably why they've stepped up a bit, I suppose.
And you're doing it more yourself,
Mine looks
so yeah.
Well, you put it this way: your car,
Shine to it.
Car looks
your
good.
car it looks very good there. It's the checkered flag at the front there with the lights, which
Yeah, the green and the blue.
That signage looks great.
Yeah,
Doesn't
Matt,
it? Yeah.
well, I even do all the
Yeah.
signs myself now too.
Yeah, who used to do that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to have some fella that used to do them, but
Yeah.
he's given up.
Never charged
So,
anything either.
When we first painted the car, Matt says, no, we're going to do white sections, blue and white it's got to be. And I said, oh, let's just do blue and green. He said, no, that'll look terrible. And I
you've
said,
stuck
well,
with
I'm
it.
doing this green, this bonnet. He says, I'm doing this bonnet, white and blue. He says, do it the green, it looks heaps better. So change everything to blue and green.
Right, you've
Just quickly before we go on,
Yeah.
that second race, with, you had the problem with the diff, that was Brett Osborne's 60th race win.
massive.
wow.
Wow, that's
It's
just,
a massive achievement.
But
It's
that's
in
only,
such a short time.
yeah.
Yeah,
Seriously, in
Race
such a
win.
short time,
Relative.
he has dominated
Yes, he
New
has.
South Wales and a lot of when he's gone to other states as well. He might not have had the instant success in the other states, but he has dominated since he's come in such a short time to do what he's has achieved. Phenomenal.
I agree.
the point in that, I think Ricardo's mentioned before, that's New South Wales. I don't.
Championship race.
Yeah, so that's
New South
not
Wales.
Yeah.
not HU Extra Cup. It's not AMRS. It's not anything other
just
than
state,
just. So that's just New South Wales.
Yeah.
That, let alone the national titles, let alone other events that he's been in other places, and yeah,
Pretty
so
damn good, isn't it?
Achievement.
Massive,
I
massive.
don't think anyone will ever beat it, to be
No.
honest. So.
You did.
Yeah.
I've won 3
There you go.
races.
There you go.
That's it.
How many
That's
you
all
won?
that matters.
Races?
I have no idea.
You got that many?
6.
No, it's not that many.
6 races?
Yeah, 5,
More
6.
than a few.
Yeah.
I'm flat out. I was flat out winning a non-race winner. See, there
You
go.
got 2 trophies though. Chris and I haven't got that this
Yeah.
year.
It's a challenge to win a
Mate,
race
mate.
these days, man.
Yeah.
Have you got? Have you got nomination trophies? I have nomination trophies, mate. Ain't you
Can't
worry about
say that I've got a nomination trophy. But we've got another one coming up later on. We do have to mention the New South Wales committee has had their election.
Yep, their gym was done.
Yep.
You have been busy.
VP.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
VP.
thought, well, I've been in it for 10 odd years. I thought, well, maybe it's about time I stepped up and put a bit of input into.
Which is very good of you, mate.
It is good. It's great.
It's excellent.
Yeah.
So I'll run through it because Chris's mic's not working real well, but we've got Darren Parker, who was vice president last year, is now president this year, which is fantastic. You've got Dave Proglio that's joined as well, so I don't think he was in the committee last year, so that's fantastic.
Secretary.
Jess Hepburn is still social media.
Membership.
And membership officer.
You got Tanya, finance,
Treasurer.
Pedro.
Treasurer,
Yep, Pedro is social now. Bucko, yourself, you've retained your position too. Race secretary. And that's Dwayne that
Stepped away.
and Glenn Miller after 17 years, wasn't it? Or
17
something
years of being on the committee and racing
crazy
cars.
like that. So
it's actually quite a big loss because Glenn does more for the club than a lot.
he's such a big heart, that guy.
I can never imagine, and
Yeah.
such a nice. He's just a gentleman.
But
Yeah, he is.
great evolution, and I think we've all got a lot to look forward to. And I honestly feel that New South Wales is a bit of a guiding state for a lot of the things that are happening, and not that the other states aren't doing a great job too, but I think we can all work off each other, and everyone lifts the game. We can all sort of work towards it.
Before we keep going, do you want to rattle off the winners of the last race
Brett.
so we can wrap up New South
Brett,
Wales?
it was a Osborne's Transport 1, 2, 3. So it's
is
Brett over Baxter.
Let's do the top 10. Yeah,
Matty Barker.
Osborne's Transport. The three cars were in the 1, 2, and 3. So Brett, John Baxter, Matt Barker, followed by Leighton Cranebrook, Dave Proglio, Darren Parker, Glenn Deering up to 7th. I think you nearly had 5th or 6th there for a while, but you had a bit of an excursion into the dirt.
Yeah, the brakes weren't working that great after the diff change.
Then Pedro, Potsy, Jason Johnson, Gordon McClay, Peter Lynch, Grant Jury, Jared Harbour, and unfortunately a DNF for Chris Moore. What happened to him?
Fan belt.
Oh, you're kidding.
No.
I've done that before.
Oh,
too.
we've all done that before.
Yeah.
Oh, Leighton's done it too. He
There's
took
a
them out
few,
early
there's a few
this year too.
that's done. Their fan belts weren't lining up and
Yeah.
kept blowing and stuff.
That was
you know.
Leighton. Yeah.
I did a fan belt, I think in Kingswood. I was leading the race, first lap, come off coming down the straight.
Oh,
I thought, jeez. Bloody fan belt.
wow.
Next thing the temperature light comes on.
Yeah, ping.
God,
Right.
that's it.
Starts pinging, that's how I know it starts pinging.
Pinging its head off.
Rob, how are you going for wonderful? You're able to do the states?
How you going
Are we
for
happy with
wonderful?
that? Yeah. How you going, wonderful? How you going, sweetheart?
I don't know what's going on here,
Ah,
mate, but
look,
that
why
hat
not?
is
Just want to thank
definitely
Ian
on there.
McLean for the hats that he
Yeah,
brought in today.
we're very festive. Festive.
Apologies, Glenn.
And
That's all right.
as you can see,
As you can see, someone's hat's just a little bit too small.
Pimple on a pumpkin there, but anyway. It's working well. State review wise, we can run through some of the states there. As it is, New South Wales ended up being the last state that was competed.
Yep.
Yes, yeah, so last round was on the weekend.
And
that was
then-
our new champion sitting here next to us for 2020.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's
Run through it.
let's run through it. So here we go. This is so we got the state championships here. The state champions, I should say. First one, Joe Andreski, the Godfather
Awesome.
from Queensland. Absolutely
Awesome.
does so many good things for racing at the moment. He's even getting cars to go down to Tassie. He's had a stellar year. He's great for the category. He's great for Queensland.
He's older than you, Glenn.
And congratulations. No, he's not he's same age as me. There you go. Michael Howlett from Western Australia.
Yeah, well done him too. So he's been around for a while, and that's his second one, I think, over
Yeah, I
there.
think so.
And it was real tight between him and Mick Woodbridge as well.
Had a big year
So-
too, winning the E-Series.
Yep, massive win. So he did remarkably well on our side, on HQ side of things. But yeah, brilliant to sort of have him involved. And
Another good bloke.
He's one of the best.
Flying Phil Ashland.
Oh, 5-time champion. 5 times Tasmanian champion. Family, the Ashland family, right behind him. And mate, this guy can drive a car. He's probably one of the best young drivers I've ever seen. He's phenomenal, and he's going to do bigger and better things next year.
Yeah, he's still quite young too. He's
Yeah.
not old like us.
Darren Crouch for South Australia, they didn't have much of a race this year, and he ends up taking it the state championships. Crouchy, well known all round HQ Racing Australia. top bloke, good character, and congratulations to Darren Crouch, South Australian State Champion. And
Look
here
at
we
that
go.
photo. How good's that photo?
Glenn Deering, New South Wales.
How are you going to
State
be with number 1 on the car, mate? You're going to
Yeah.
that'll look even better, isn't it?
Oh, you could go I1 gutter. Yeah. You tell I do marketing.
Stickers, mate.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Just get rid of the I. You're right.
Mate, congratulations, Glenn,
Well done,
on
mate.
such a. So congratulations to all our state champions winning. Now, obviously, each state have got B grades, C grades, and all different grades, and some have got club champions that weren't state champions. Look, it was just a state champion. So, to all those guys, congratulations. And with the year we had with COVID, you know, kudos to all of you. Well done, congratulations, and I hope you have a great backup to do 21 and do well there.
Rob, are you right to do a bit of a year sum up? Yeah, is that all right? While Rob's just tidying up some of our graphics,
The Neds, yes, we.
let's go back about
Let's go back
2 months.
2 months, yeah.
Yeah.
We had a little slight bet.
Can't believe you haven't handed them out by now.
A slight bet.
A wager.
We had a bit of a wager that it was. We had 3 HQ Extra cars racing in the 1 hour, the HQ Extra Cup, and we made a bet that the 2 losers would buy the winner drivers Ned's whiskey. So
A whiskey winner.
a whiskey winner. So. Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. Thank you.
And I'll take.
That's for
That's for Kieran. I mean,
Kieran,
I
Pilkington.
might not see him for
Put
a
him
while.
back up there though. So yeah. So congratulations to those guys.
Is it on again for next year?
Why not?
The sabotage was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's
That's all
terrible.
I got to say.
You gave Rob your car, and he still went well.
Three bolts out of the bell housing in both our cars, eh, Rob? 3 bolts out of them.
I had a split head. I broke my head on my best head.
Please. Anyway,
Still went round,
we just put it down to that was just absolute sabotage,
Yeah.
and the revenge will be sweet.
That'll be sweet too.
Yeah, you
by the
money
way.
bastards.
Look, got a couple of images that we put together, a bit of a year in review, and we've all got our highlights and we've all got things that we'll remember as the year is such a unique year as it was, but we've kind of captured a few things that I sort of felt were something that
Just as you said
we can have a
that,
chat about.
I apologise to
Yeah.
cut you off. Ricardo Bevenuti, Price's Images, just sent through a bit of a thing. Brett Osborne, 61 wins. Chris is 13 wins. And Ian, 5 wins. Glenn, 3 wins. Wayne, no comment.
Thank you. Thank
Well done,
you.
Ricardo.
Well done.
I walked
Great work.
I walked straight into that.
Yeah. Thanks, Ricardo. We love Ricardo, by the way,
Yeah,
not just for
yeah,
that comment, but
yeah.
just across the board. So,
Yep.
you right to go, Rob? Beautiful.
Yeah.
My highlight, and I know that Rob's and everyone else's behind the scenes put so much into it, but the HU Extra Cup was just, the E-Series was absolutely massive in a year that we would not have expected to have been in this situation, not being able to race, let alone create something that the E-Series was. Jason Mole was just absolutely mind-blowing with the way that he's designed cars and created, and that whole series, I cannot say enough about the people that were involved in it as a category, as our sponsors that backed it, supported it. There's so much to sort of say about it. Next image, there's another little clip. This is interesting because that's a legitimate photo, and that's of Dwayne Priest's car down in Tasmania. Check this out though. This is the next photo. That's the E-Series car. Absolute legit.
Perfect.
In every possible way, made from scratch. So that's just absolutely phenomenal. How
Jason did a fantastic
Yeah, he
job.
did, didn't he?
absolutely mind blowing. So next one again's an E-Series one as well. That's my kit. So you can see that. Yeah, it's in the garage there, and there's not much going on around it. The front bit's the monitor, and then the basic sort of seat there. So that was my sanctuary for a few minutes each week, while everyone else is getting a lot more seat time than me. But anyway, next one ends up that. The reason that we've got that, and it's not just because of Ned Whiskey or anything like that, but we're able to introduce.
We are not sponsored by.
No, we haven't haven't
not
got any
sponsors,
affiliate.
But if Ned Whiskey wants to help us out, hey, who are we to say no?
We'll have a chat to them about it. But what the beauty of the E-Series was to be able to introduce something like that at literally no cost. To be able to bring someone into the sport, they've taken notice of it. They've been able to promote a lot of our webpage, Facebook feeds and Instagram feeds, and they've been able to leverage us as well. So it's awesome. But to be able to bring them in and show, and us to have the level of professionalism that they allowed us to use their brand and their image in the right way was absolutely phenomenal. So I love that side of things as well. And again, that was on the E-Series. What else we got? Some of the results. This is Phillip Island that ended up being first to second to third was less. This is a finish after a 1 hour race of less than 0.3 of a second between the drivers there. 0.3 of a second. Second to third was something like 8 1,000ths or 2 1,000ths of a second or something like that. So to have an hour race and be able to finish like that with so many variables in an E-Series, absolutely mind-blowing. Bathurst, which is the next one, isn't far off that either. So again, Michael Howlett actually won that. He ended up, 0.0 something of a second over the line again over a 1 hour race, and everyone that's running that series knows that things can go wrong anywhere at any time. So that was absolutely brilliant as well. So the
third was Brad Lee. Yeah, Brad Lee, a flag.
Brad Lee, that's true too.
That's it, Brad Lee. Brad was, like I said, he's a flagger. Him and his dad. They in New South Wales, and they rang up and jumped in and said, "Oh, can we have a go at this?" and had some fun, and we helped them out.
And Jason,
just awesome.
and Jason made his cars for them.
We see them all the time. They've got a couple of HQ Extra shirts running around now. Mate, they are great.
They give.
Volunteer.
Exactly right, mate. Exactly right. So.
I commented on something on that today on Facebook about the volunteers on the New South Wales motor
Look,
and they always say, without those guys, we don't race. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly right.
Thanks,
So,
definitely appreciate it.
Big thanks for that. Next one ended up just being a quick summary. The Endurance Series, which is CR Xtra Cup, was Michael Howlett, Jason Mullen, again, Brett Osborne, that's being able to show his dap hands at everything.
It was good. Actually, the E-Series was pretty damn good for the Osbornes because where they live, they were isolated with the COVID. There wasn't much they could do. And not only that, what the E-Series did, which I know, I'm glad you said it was one of your highlights, is it brought a lot of people together in the sense of, because we were using the communication, which was Discord, and we could all talk to each other. We might not have known, or you've never met them, but because you were talking to them on the Discord, the time when you did meet them, it was like, "Hey, you go, mate, you already knew them."
Yeah.
So the E-Series did bring a lot of drivers from interstate, because we had them from all interstate, and we even had international.
Overseas too.
Yeah, international races, so which is great.
I think in that Brett Osborne finishing third in that championship is sort of just shows what type of a bloke he is, because he started out in the E-Series not doing too well.
Yeah, he struggled. Yeah.
But he put the time, put the effort in.
Kept going.
Kept
Got
going.
the results. That's what he does on the track as well as on the computer. So that's the kind of guy that he is, and
away from the track to preparation.
Leighton just 100%. Made a perfect good thing. The only problem with the E-Series, I was running third at Bathurst and I lost the internet.
Yeah. him and computers.
Well, that's like doing a diff, isn't it? That's like losing a fan belt or something like that, mate. Yeah, look, that happens, unfortunately.
That's typical HQ.
Yeah, well, that's it.
You never know. You never know.
I just commented also, is there any plans for another E-Series, Ian?
We'll see how the timing goes. There is one more round that we want to sneak in before next year's racing season begins, so through January. We might be able to run the unofficial 2020 HQ E-Nationals, and we'll run that in Darwin as the 2020 version of where we're at.
Keep an eye out for that.
See if we can dust off a couple of sims and give that a bit of a wrap. Next one we'll run through in pretty quick. Xtra Cup.
It was brilliant.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know where to start with that one.
We had 3 of our cars then. Right, we had great backup, great sponsors that helped us out there. CR International,
brought some old timers back.
Equity Views,
that's priceless.
Osborne Transport, they all got behind it. It was just fun. It was a great weekend, mate. You worked your ass off that weekend into that. Rob and we got to race. Bucko, unfortunately, you just had that little incident. There's a beautiful photo of our cars there and the presentation. Look, you know what, I couldn't have been more proud of you, Ian, doing what you did. You're still a pain in the arse, but you've done an absolute phenomenal job that weekend.
Look, that was just an opportunity. Again, we wouldn't have seen the year develop the way that it did, and that opportunity sort of came up real quick, and we jumped at the opportunity to take the event and turn it into something.
Well, HQ Xtra actually, we come on board and actually sponsored the event, and yourself basically took control of it and ran it. Our first go at what would you say, promoting an event, and I think mate, you were outstanding. Outstanding.
Again,
I haven't had a person ever say a bad word about that event. They all loved it.
They say it about me, and that's normal.
That's
but
normal.
yeah, the event's okay.
Again,
so.
and that's also thanks to New South Wales getting the date and then turning around and letting us do what we did. So to the New South Wales committee that allowed us to do that.
And that's what happens when we work together. We're great.
Well, that's it, and with Darren Parker being on board there, we've already been in talks. Well, great things are going to happen for HQ Xtra and New South Wales alone, and I can't wait to HQ Xtra works all around Australia, because it's not just New South Wales we want to help everybody, and that's what we're about. Like you said, not state versus state, it's mate versus mate.
Well, we've already got some great sponsors from interstate too.
Yeah,
like
exactly,
Hardy's,
100%.
And
Yep.
we've been approached from the Ashland family in Tasmania to come on board next year as well. So
Yep.
it's we're just getting bigger and stronger every year, and hopefully we get some other states come on board as well.
I think it's networking, and that's sort of what I took out of it, was the conversations that I had to the people that we already knew, and it was, we're going to do this, is there any chance you can help us out? And the answer to every one of those, and they were big commitments, to be fair, they were big commitments, and more than any other state round would have cost, because we wanted to make it something different, and we did. We invested in that, and we made it sort of what it was. But
it was a learning curve for us as well.
It was.
It wasn't perfect, and I'm not having to go at you personally.
The shirts out.
yeah, that's...
There was little incidentals, because don't forget we were racing. It was COVID. You weren't allowed.
We had no help.
You weren't allowed anyone on the track besides your co-driver. You know what I mean? Or one person pit crew. No one was allowed to come. So like the Harvey boys were ready to come down from. Joe had
It would have come down again.
the Andreski's and all that. I mean, wow. I mean, it could have been phenomenal, but it was what I'm trying to say. For what we had, it was great.
No. Next year,
Still, it was an awesome event. Very well.
next year's bigger and better, and whatever comes of that, we've got a few things that are happening there.
Mate.
For sure. Yeah.
Bob will be back next year.
Yeah, well, I'll probably have to pay for Bob's licence again, so it'll probably be due by then. Actually, if you run it just before the 12-month comes up, I'll be fine. I won't have to pay for it.
I'll run through a couple of others.
We might be able to work something out there.
They're little parts of it as well. The set, being able to expand and I guess go solo. So a lot of people made that happen again, and it was a blind commitment from the sponsors that we've got involved. They were able to sort of back us from where we were uncomfortable, and we had sort of things lined up, but it was caging as well. We had the opportunity to start doing things, and next year we want to again sort of grow from that.
It's been phenomenal to do this.
Yep.
Like I said, with the support that we have and our sponsors, this is why we could do that. Is exactly what you said. Their support allowed us to do this. Next year, with their support again, hopefully we can take that further. We can get better equipment and even make it even better than it is. We want to be the hub for HQ Australia, as in for information. We don't want to take anything away from the States. Don't get me wrong, we're not trying to steal anybody's thunder, but we want to be the hub so everyone gets the information. So, for instance, if someone wants to know about if someone's racing in South Australia, what dates, we've got that information for them. And that's what we want to do. So we're trying to do that. It's getting better. The more support, the better it's going to be. We can get to more states. We couldn't get to any states this year to cover it. Look, you're 100% right. We're getting bigger and better. But again, it's only because we've got great support. But there's always room for even better.
We also surpassed our 2,000th Facebook like, and
yeah, that's massive. This time last year, and I'll let you chat about that because I'm stoked with that as well. Exactly what you were just saying then. This time last year, we didn't have the website. Well, I sort of finished it by then. So we had no website, we had no ability for people to be able to communicate in that level, and that's calendars and things like that. And Facebook, you tell us where we were.
No, we didn't have a website, we didn't have an E-series, and if you didn't come on board, we still wouldn't.
we pretty much
There's two idiots.
we just
Hey Glenn, and a great photo.
Yeah. Look. I've got a couple of nomination trophies. Don't forget me nomination
And
trophies.
I'll have a drink.
Don't forget me nomination trophies.
Sometimes I think you need one. Put that.
Yeah, but you're right. We there was a lot of things because of this year how we had to change, and we did it well as a team. We did that quite well. So I was very proud of you
Also,
guys.
Rob there behind the scenes, he does a phenomenal job, and
Yeah.
it's great to have him on board as well.
Well, lots changed from last time I've been on here, actually.
It has a lot changed.
Yeah, like, we've changed from Glendenning where we're at in a little square room.
Yeah.
Yep.
So a lot's
On a dodgy
changed.
seat with a dodgy table and a couple of bricks holding it up.
Yeah, and the table too.
Mate, it's far
Yeah,
from
let's-
this lounge is far from good, but good from far.
Good from far, but far from good.
Exactly. So,
You guys do such a great job for HQs,
thanks, mate.
Yeah.
It's just great to watch you guys and see what you got to say and give us a bit of the rumor. Yes,
Yeah, the
Rumour.
rumor.
We'll be back.
Just to try and find information out. It's great.
And look, it's not always going to be right, and we'll say that it's not always going to be right. We're not always going to get the information right, and if we ever say anything that has upset anyone, it's never going to have any intent to it. But let us know if we've done something or said something that. Yeah, we'll sort of run with it. But
Yeah, actually, just while we're there, it's a good point too.
If
Just
you-
made.
Yeah.
Why Rob was just going to bring that up. Don't forget, guys, in January, early January, which is
Late.
the Australia Day weekend, which is actually
Late January.
Late January. It's actually Australia Day weekend. So on the 24th is a Sunday. It's practice day. Monday is a race day, and then Australia Day. Tuesday is a race day. 2 days off. Then you go to Basketball. Practice day Friday. Racing Saturday and Sunday. If you want to get your car down there, Joe Andreski's got some spots. Get in touch with him, mate. It's going to be a phenomenal weekend at Tassie, and what a way to
They've
kick
already
off.
got 21 expressions of interest.
oh, really? That's
20,
awesome.
21 already, but it's going to be 50 years. We're going to be celebrating 50 years of HQs, as in a branded car, because they came out in 71.
Home of
And
HQ.
it's at
That's
the home
brilliant.
of HQ racing. You cannot
Diane,
get bigger
you-
than that.
You're going down?
You can
You
send.
taking Glenn down?
Look, I'd love to go down, but work's already booked in for.
Oh, I'm sure you can move it.
And
Yeah.
it's a long way to go, and at
It
this
is.
point in time, I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
It is a big commitment, but I think
If you're going to go, that'd be the
That'd
one.
be awesome.
Oh, look, I'll tell you,
get to do both tracks in a
Yes.
week.
I guarantee you, anyone that does both those weekends from interstate, besides the Tasmanian guys, will walk away from that weekend going, probably the best thing I've ever done in HQ racing.
that's a classic.
There you
Yeah.
I'd love to, mate. It's my 30th wedding anniversary.
Even a better reason.
Well, you know where we.
I've been telling that all year.
This is so
Yeah.
Lovely Tasmania.
my lovely wife. Well, yeah, that's exactly what I said. My lovely wife has booked us in to go to the zoo, so we're doing the roar and snore. So you stay at the zoo and that. And I said,
go to the zoo in
we've got
Tasmania,
enough animals at home. So what do you want to go to the zoo for? Anyway, and apparently the monkeys need to know how to do some certain things, so I've got to teach them.
You could do
I'm
the
going to show.
roar and rumble.
I'm going to be grabbing Michelle and and the monkeys will be at the window watching.
Anyway, how about those Jets?
Maybe.
Back to Tasmania.
Back to Tassie.
Here's a segue. Look, another little one that we did have a bit of a reminder of. That's a bit of a sad moment that we sort of had during the year. That Ian Beachy ended up passing away, who was one of our stalwarts from original HQ basis of sort of being in Tasmania.
You guys are.
What we're able to do. Do you want to listen to the audio?
It's brilliant what you guys have done.
I don't know if we can
Don't
get
know
the
if we got
audio.
it, but We'll see. I might even be able to put this up on Facebook later on again because it was brilliant. But
If it wasn't for old
Dwayne
Beachy, we
Priest-
wouldn't be racing these simulators with the HQs because we wouldn't have had
Let's go
interest
to
in
the
racing
audio.
HQs to start with. So, Pop definitely got me into racing HQs, and it was the best times of my life. As it turned out, my dad passed away a couple of years ago, and I was lucky enough to race Bathurst at 12-hour in the HQs, and we finished on the podium, and that was, apart from my two little boys being born, the best part of my life, And I wouldn't have had any of that experience if it wasn't for Pop and the HQ boys. I think everyone's been to a race meeting, and we all get a bit hot and sweaty under the collars on the track, but all the boys are there to help out as soon as there's a problem. They'll give you anything, and I just reckon you boys you're a bloody you're just legendary. I don't know what to say. You're a family. You're a group of close family friend. Yeah, thanks everyone.
That was awesome. You guys, yeah, I've seen that a few times.
Myself too.
Every time I see that, it just sort of gets you a little bit inside. It was a great commemoration. It was great to have Dwayne Priest involved in that. He's best mates with Beachy's son, and to be able to do something like that we had the opportunity to just signal that out, sort of thing. That was really cool. So that was a bit of a highlight of sort of our year, my year. As I said, I just sort of put a few things together that I know that all of us had a bit of a resonance to, and we all enjoyed it, and it could have been.
It's been a tough year, but we've done
look,
best in a bad
It's made a lot.
situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll just quickly rattle off a couple of mine. Number one was the HQ Xtra Cup, that we, in such a short time, could do something like that through our club, and the hard work you did, and to have an event under our brand, which was unreal. Seeing Rob McDougall get back on the track as well was a highlight. It was great for us to have 3 HQ Xtra cars there. You know, he works hard behind the scenes, so getting him back in a car was really good. The night racing, I thought, was one of the best things I've ever done. I can't wait to do it again. It's great. Probably one of the biggest highlights for me really is the camaraderie HQ Extra's creating. It's something that I'm proud as two hooligans that started this up, mucking around, and to see what it's gone and where it's going. It makes me very proud, and it's always going to be a highlight for me every year. So, and also I said, and the other one, the last one, but not least, is the support we got. I'm amazed and so thankful that we've got so much support behind us, and they are highlights. These guys get us to help us so we can do this, and that is a massive highlight for me. So they're my quick ones.
My top 5 things for the year. I think the Ian Beachy tribute was special, very special, and as you can see, you just seen it then. It was a very touching moment and a great tribute to a great man. So that was great. A new studio, I love it. I think it's great.
Yep.
I was actually against it at the start. I like my desk, come up my gut, you know. But no, it's awesome.
But your guts come down.
Yeah.
It used to be a lot bigger under the desk.
Shh, I'm sucking it in, mate.
It's a long hour, isn't it?
It's a long way. It's hard work, let me tell you. The Queenslanders coming down the race in New South Wales this year was a great thing too.
That was awesome.
It was awesome
Yeah.
to see a big truckload of Queenslanders come down. They couldn't race.
That's the second time they've done it. They've done it last year, which is great.
So they were fast.
They're fast, yeah, they are fast.
But yeah, well, we thought.
They're very fast, mate. Don't worry about that.
That's our track. We know our way
A
around.
little track.
And they nailed it straight up, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, they had been there before they for the Nationals.
Even
I
in
think.
the rain.
Yeah.
No, they're good drivers, all of them.
Definitely.
The HQ Extra 1 hour, I think that was the start of something pretty big, and very proud to be a part of that as well. And last but not least, HQ Extra surpassing our 2,000th like, and we've been working towards that for over a good part of a year.
We weren't even 1,000 this time last year.
Yeah, we were.
We were cracking.
Here we
We're
go.
cracking.
2,031 so far. 2,000. So we got 2,147 followers.
Yeah.
So that is phenomenal. As you can see, we're reaching over nearly 10,000 people a week. So you know what, guys? If you want to sponsor us and help us out, you're going to get good
good
coverage
mileage.
and good mileage out of us as well. So
I've also been waiting to see, but I haven't seen the Go Nuts Racing footage come up from the HQ Extra Cup yet. What's going on, Rob?
I was right at the back.
When I first started racing, I used to always watch the Go Nuts Racing.
It
Always
is.
used to watch it. Just watch, see what Rob's doing. Yeah.
Well, we'll able to live stream that this year, so we can do some stuff with
And
that
look, that
next
was
time.
awesome
So.
too. The live streaming was good too, because especially with the COVID stuff, people at home could watch the racing.
how good. That's Blendline TV.
Yeah.
We're bringing that out.
And I watched the day-night race probably about 80 times.
Mate, so we actually, to be honest, we are actually.
No reason.
We're definitely spoiled in New South Wales because we do have Blendline TV that can do that.
Yes.
But don't get me wrong, Blendline TV can go to any state if you want them. Get in contact with them. They will help you out.
But that's it.
know?
They're not free.
They're not free. You've
So
got to pay for it.
How does that happen?
It's not cheap.
It's
but
guys like the Osbornes.
it's exactly right. It's Osborne Transport, and all the main sponsors that come on on board and take care of that. So we're very lucky to have Osborne Transport, not just in New South Wales, not just that's supporting us here, but they support a lot of other states, a lot of other New South Wales as well, massively. They've been phenomenal for HQ Racing, and mate, well, that's just goes to show we can't thank them enough.
We've got a bit of a.
Let's move on.
Move on. Time's getting away.
We've probably left the highlight to last.
Yeah, well, look, we started earlier in the year talking about a HQ Xtra Hall of Fame, and we were overwhelmed with the nominations.
There's heaps
there's
of
so
them.
many people who have contributed to HQs over the last 30 years to make it what it is today, and I think just to make that list, you know, it's pretty special too. It was a massive list, but there was a lot of people who've done a lot of things for HQs. So, look, this is a HQ Xtra Hall of Fame, and this is we took your input, we took your nominations, and we decided between ourselves. We've combined in this room. We've got, or actually including Glenn, probably 60 years worth of HQ racing combined. So I think we sort of have a fair idea what we're talking about. And we got together with some. I said we got together on a Zoom meeting and worked and nutted it out who we think were who should be the inaugural inductees into the HQ Xtra Hall of Fame, and
it was hard. You just
it was extremely hard.
Started thinking sort of like, oh, how about that guy?
Yeah.
How about that guy? How
the list kept coming. The list kept going.
Yeah.
So look, if you don't make the list and you think you probably should, please don't be too offended. We're going
to do it every year. We're going to induct people every year to it. Yep. It's an ongoing thing.
These guys are standouts, I think, though.
But look, it's just what we can. You know, what we've put together, we're going to do a lot more. We're going to get a lot more people's input from all the other states as well. It's not just our state. It's everybody. It's everybody that's been involved in HQ racing, regardless of.
You've got to think about 30 years of it. There's been a lot of people involved, and this is.
And
I think
for different reasons too, which is interesting. That's sort of part of where we're at.
This is the standout. So we're going to go through it now.
Rob had the first one up that might not mean something to some people, but it means a hell of a lot to a lot of people. Dave Armour has not only competed himself, and his son's competed too. He's kind of made the sport work and continue to work, and without his help at the track, there'd be cars that
he supported us for
would not make it
for so many years.
Yeah. Even through the COVID, he done the right thing.
He drives up, he comes, and does every event. He doesn't miss one.
Yep.
He's always there to help. It's his business as well. He obviously makes a bit of coin out of it. I think he just does it mainly for the love of it.
He would have gone to Queensland.
HQ racer through and through.
Yeah, he would have gone to 1 hour. That was a border issue there.
Yeah.
And New South Wales, they came to every round. Victoria clearly sort of would have as well, and other states too. So there's an old photo here of Dave as well back in the day. I'm sure they'll appreciate that one getting thrown up on air there.
He'll love that one.
So on the left-hand side there.
Rosy cheeks. It's like someone just grabbed him.
You could call him Rangry Dilly.
What do you mean, Nilly? He's a ranger.
So Dave.
If he gets upset, he's a ranger.
Dave for a whole lot of reasons, and he wears his heart on his sleeve, and he says it the way it is, and you got to respect
his
him.
passion's there for the sport. I can guarantee you that.
$10 Dave Amor.
$10 Dave.
$10 Dave.
He loves his commentary too.
He
He loves it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Again,
whether you agree with him, whether you like him, whether it does, he puts a big effort into what makes HQ.
and that E-Series again, it was just a phone call. Hey Dave, look, we're looking to do it this way, and every week he was spending a few hours on Zoom meetings with me, and he'd make the time and he'd work with deadlines, and it was just you just tell me when you need it. So that was great. So that's Dave. Next one, Ian Beachy.
Yeah.
And
not many words to be said, really.
Why not? And you're right. He's the stalwart that was, and he wasn't the only one. And we're not saying that by any stretch of the imagination. But we just know this year was probably more relevant than others. That's a picture of the E-Series car. The next photo is actually.
That's our next one.
Our next one, Glenn Miller. 17 years been in New South Wales.
3 years of racing.
That's huge.
He actually holds the record for the most amount of race starts in New South Wales.
Yep, fantastic.
I'm just behind him.
by a little bit.
Well, there you go. So, yeah, look, Glenn, again, we can't say enough about him.
We didn't mean to get off Beachy that quick, but
Sorry, there was actually a couple other photos, but look, it didn't really matter. What I was going to try and sort of show is just there was an original photo there of Beachy's car as well too. But yeah, again, without him and everyone else associated with it, the Tasmanian sort of side of things to begin and kick it all off, it wouldn't have been sort of what it was. So, yeah, no, it's absolutely great to again be able to commemorate him. But for Glenn, yeah, he's got the same race record as Wayne.
No wins.
Yeah.
That's okay, Glenn.
23 years. You've got a few to go yet.
Yeah, well,
You'll
He's catching.
catch him up soon. Next one.
Glenn Miller.
Yeah, Glenn Miller.
There's
Peter Dane.
Who's that guy? I've seen him around somewhere.
Yeah.
seen him around there a few
Yeah,
times.
hanging around the track in September.
Yeah, he jumped in my car, and unfortunately,
Quicker than
we
you?
didn't have the. He was quicker than me, believe it or not.
Believe it or not.
Did I show you my nomination trophy? I got a nomination trophy.
Do you know what? He
Anyway.
hasn't got one of those.
He hasn't got one of those.
He has not got
I
one
bet you
of
$10 you haven't got. Look, Peter Dane was one of the first guys I met when I come into HQ Racing. His son Ryan was racing at the time, and he was helping him.
I own his car.
Sorry.
I own his car.
Well, there you go. So, Peter has I actually been involved with Peter Dane with work-wise too, with Ready Strip, and he's also helped us out with sponsorship. But some of the clips, if you go back through and look through YouTube and look at some of the HQ Racing, Oran Park, Amaroo, Bathurst. Peter Dane's there. Peter Dane there. He's
Normally
won.
at the front.
He's won.
Dominating.
Peter Dane's won Bathurst several times. One thing people might not know is Peter Dane actually drives the pace car or the safety car around Bathurst.
And Ryan did for a little bit too, but yeah.
So
Do you know the funniest thing? And yeah, it's great to have him involved. He ran in the Laser Series as well back in the day.
I remember the
Scafie
Laser
and the
Series,
Amaroo
yeah,
Amaroo Series. So he was sort of running in that, as well as saloon cars. He had an AU Falcon saloon car as well. But yeah, he just knows everything. It was great to be around him at that event, and it was brilliant to do it.
Bob Hepburn used to race with him a lot.
Yeah, would have
So
too.
They were
Yep.
very competitive, so it would have been nice to put him in a competitive car so he could actually had a race with
yes, yeah. Well, look, I
Maybe next year.
apologise. That was my bad. I screwed up, and I apologise. And I hope you come back and race with me. Do it again next
I'm
year.
sure he will. I'm sure
Do you know-
he does.
Do you know an ironic twist? And I'm not. I could stand corrected here, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. But Danny's car is the car that Joe just won the championship in.
There it is. It is.
His old car.
It is, old
And
car.
Joe's like, yeah, I was looking through the logbook and it had this Dane guy owned it.
Dane guy.
This Dane guy.
Put it there. and
Who's this Dane guy?
Who's the Dane guy?
So yeah,
Dane.
so Joe Andreski's just won the championship in Peter Dane's old car.
Look,
How awesome is that?
Right.
so far we've got through four.
That's three.
Three, is it?
Four. No, it's four. You're right. Yep.
Four.
Next one.
Next one.
Might not know the face. That's Brian Haley. Might not know the name, but father of Neville Haley and Steve Haley. Brian's been around the sport. He was Autotech.
Pick the car up.
I'm going to apologise.
So
I'm
Joe.
going to apologise. This is actually a photo. He and I have been talking for probably 12 months. He's just got such an insight into the sport. In the day, they used to sponsor events down. He said that they sponsored an event down at Sandown not that long ago. He was mentioning to me not that long ago from 20 years ago that they sponsored to get midfield up, want to pick their game up, and he was instrumental in that. This photo is actually Steve, who's Neville's younger brother. First meeting, turned up Gold Coast, and the officials went, just make sure, we'll let you drive, just make sure you get out of everyone's way. Like, not a problem for you to be there, just be mindful of who's there. Put it on pole.
Auto track.
Auto track. Pole, Nev, front row.
In the concrete walls.
In the concrete jungle. He ended up winning 3 out of 3 by a margin.
Big set
Wow.
of kahunas.
Nev ended up had an issue and he ended up getting a penalty and sort of knocked back a few. But Brian was saying that was his highlight. That was his life highlight, to see the 2 kids on the front row.
If you're not friends with Brian on Facebook and you're into HQs, you probably should be, because he's forever putting up posts about HQs.
Not just HQs, but Holdens in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good Yeah, all round bloke.
So there's 5 that you've been put together.
Who's this guy?
They're Bobby Hepburn.
Bobby Hepburn.
Yeah, he's still around.
Yeah, and he's made the HQ Extra Hall of Fame. So
I'm sure.
Who can pick that?
I'm sure he'll be very happy about
well, he
that.
deserves it, mate. He's been around for a long time.
Well, he used to race in the Superdome,
Thunderdome.
the Thunderdomes.
Yeah.
Who can
Yep.
pick that track, that corner?
I can-
I know it. I reckon I know it. It's probably at turn 4.
No, that's got to be. That's East Phillip Island, isn't it?
No. I don't reckon.
You don't. Hang on. That's.
No.
No.
You got me.
Sandown?
No, I'm going to let that go. We'll see,
Someone tell us.
see if anyone
Look, Bob's raced many tracks.
see if anyone
He's
can.
been. I know Pedro towed his car to Darwin one year, so. He's
And
Bathurst.
we know where that is as well.
And we know
He's
that.
got a great shot at home coming into the first corner, and he's in the lead.
I've seen that one. Jess
But
snuck
they
a photo of
also-
that.
One year they went up to Bathurst, and I think the front 3 or 4 cars ended up in the sand trap. They were all CMB engines cars.
Oh no.
So all the cars ended up in the sand trap.
That's not a good start.
I've been there.
Turn one.
Now,
All of them.
this guy has the synonymous name that has ended up being the Hopwood Cup.
Peter Hopwood.
Peter Hopwood himself. He was probably the first professional driver, professional team in that level in the early 1990s in the HQs. So he won a couple of national titles, a couple of Bathurst titles, Adelaide Street Race when they were supporting the Formula Ones and the Group A's. He himself was a sports car champion, Australian sports car champion. He drove at Bathurst, co-sponsored with Caltech. So at the same time, Bondi was driving the Sierras. Caltech sponsored. So he actually ended up driving at Bathurst with the second of the 2 Sierras. So quite a steerer, quite a car. The sister car to that is actually Adam Leach's car, the Butchert, who is their team driver there. So Bob is just absolutely, Peter, not Bob, Peter Hopwood, absolutely phenomenal. Record speaks for himself, and we'll get some stats up some of these guys later on. But definitely recognised as being the first professional team that you'd say, and everyone that was in the category then would be able to sort of say that. So absolutely awesome.
Number 7.
Moving on.
Oh,
Who's this?
yes. My mate. All our mate.
All our mates. Everyone knows who he is.
Look, when you said that you'd be announcing, I imagined Pedro to be in here somewhere.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was one of my...
you would have to think so, would you?
Yes.
He got plenty of votes, I've got to tell you.
Yeah.
He did.
And it just goes to show what,
Current and former, which was great to see as well. A lot of people just saw it, had to
Well,
say
they
something.
get
Like
Pedro, right? And then that's fair enough. But I get
That's the
it.
problem. You're not supposed to get him.
I do get
Just
it.
let him
Maybe
go.
it's my problem too.
Just let him go.
He is such a good person.
He's such a ped.
He really is, you know. He hasn't had an easy life in some stages as well, and
Absolutely.
he is a thorough gentleman. He'll do absolutely anything to help you. He'll give you his shirt, his undies, his socks, everything.
Mate, if it wasn't for him,
That said, we've done the same to keep him on the track too.
if it was,
His kids, he does everything for his kids.
Yeah.
if it wasn't for him, Dad and I wouldn't have raced for a long time there.
Oh,
It
half
was-
the
he
cars.
was he was putting
I wouldn't have raced either.
he was putting motors together out of nothing just so we could get on the track. I had a big accident. Clinton Green ran up my arse at
Oran Park?
at a national the Shannon's Nationals at Oran Park, mate, and it was caved in. They shut the track down for an hour and everything, and we were out there racing on the next day because we went back to Pedro's place. No, he said, bring it to my place. We had it back, and we had it pulled out and straightened up, bang, on the track the very next morning. We never slept, and we went racing only for a lousy fuel hose to come off, and I didn't finish the race, the poor guy. And he felt so bad that he thought he'd done something wrong. He was shattered that I didn't finish the race. And I'm going, are you kidding?
You got there.
You've just
Wet paint and all.
yeah.
If it wasn't for Pedro, I'd be like you.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have won a race either.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not nice. Are you saying
Yeah.
Pedro's not good enough to make me win a race now?
I've got to admit, I'm pretty sure I've won a race.
Did I
with
say
one
I
of
had a
his motors
nomination
too.
trophy? Has anyone seen my nomination trophy?
You didn't win a nomination trophy. You got given one.
I didn't say I won it. I said, did you see my nomination trophy?
I'm pretty
I got
sure he
two
said he
now.
won one.
I got
Did he
two.
do-
Did you see it?
He he has done so much for me over my
Yeah.
career in HQ racing. It's more than anyone can imagine. And
Let alone
Again.
Leighton and national
Again, like
titles
you said,
and
lots of
Ute
cars.
titles and
like you said,
Cars everywhere.
yeah.
like you said, and you might not understand Pedro, but let me tell you, if you ever get a chance, mate, this guy is phenomenal. He's brilliant.
Sorry,
What are you
time-
trying to do?
No, it's just time to.
Changes it.
It's like play school with the pencil. Anyway,
Well, okay. Anyway,
next one.
yeah.
This will be the last one, I think. Mick Woodbridge.
yes.
Apparently, he's WA's Pedro.
Okay.
He's helped more guys
So they get him.
over there. They do. Apparently, he's not only competitive, and Michael Hallett is his teammate, and he's the one that got him into the sport, and Mick Stat as well, I'm sure. But he is speedy, and he's been racing for 20 years. And the championships that he's won during his time as well is absolutely awesome. But same thing, apparently he gives and gives and gives and helps and helps and helps and all the things that Pedro does. And we know it because we're first hand here sort of thing. But from everything I've heard from the WA sort of side of things, he's just that type of character. And it's not only that, it's the results that we've sort of given that to him to be able to sort of say that. But we wanted to give some, not just for competitors, not just for current competitors, not just for old competitors. It's guys like Glenn Miller that's helped the club. It's guys like Brian Haley.
Let's just look at some of the nominations. Johnny Wise,
Oh, plenty that did.
Kevin Stewart.
Yeah.
We could go on all night.
Kevin Stoopman,
Bruce Heinrich.
Bruce Heinrich,
Yep.
Neil Corey, Graham Butler,
Dallas Crane.
Dallas Crane. I mean, these are the guys. We haven't left them out. We just done a quick one.
Bonwick
We've done
and
Gary Bonwick.
Finesse
Exactly right.
and-
Finesse. You know,
Yeah.
A lot of people, mate.
you know,
The list is massive. So there'll be another 10 next year, and
oh, absolutely. We just started it. Hopefully you guys can understand why we did it, and we want to keep this continuing on. But the more nominations we get out there, the better it is. Like I said, this is just a start to give you guys a taste. We believe they are great nominations and great people to induct in the Hall of Fame, and we hope that you guys can understand, and we'll nominate some more people for next year because, you know, again, it's only going to get bigger and better, and these guys deserve the recognition. But unless you guys nominate, it's, you know.
We've still got national champions
Yeah,
that
exactly
haven't got
right.
to mention. There's
Like I
guys that
said,
have been
there's-
around and...
There's another 30 blokes we could rattle off.
Oh,
Absolutely rattle off, and yeah. But look, that's the quick 10 we've come up with for
this
this.
is the inaugural HQ Extra
Yeah.
Hall of Fame. So well done to everyone who.
Well done, Ian.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well
who was
done.
in there. What's happened him for?
that was Chris's.
Oh, Chris would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, Chris.
What's Wayne done, Chris? He hasn't won a race.
Oh, I
but
don't get a say. Look, I don't even cover my
Just
phone.
quickly going back to Tasmania before we finish up pretty soon. Sue actually just mentioned here that back-to-back race meetings total entry fee is $600.
Oh,
Yes.
that's right. He sent us it's $350 or $300 or something for
Total $600.
practice.
And I believe
yeah,
I think
practice
everything.
and
That's for your
race.
2 weekends.
Practice and race.
That's phenomenal.
I
Isn't it?
messaged him back at him.
Another thing, Toffee put out here that if you can get your car on the ferry and get it to Tasmania, they will work out ways of getting your cars around to the tracks as well for you.
Yeah, I'm sure they would too.
Anyone who wants to-
Also, too, just to let everyone know, we've just been asked. Leighton's turned around and says, anyone looking to drive in the Hotwood next year, he's opening to anyone who wants to have a drive with him. It is a 2-driver event. So Leighton just said, put it out there. If anyone's serious enough to want to jump in the car with him, let's
I think
do
we've got a
that.
problem with the seat position.
I'm just about to.
But again, like I said, get in touch with the people that you want. Also, too, I'm not sure if there's any, you guys that are Tassie down there watching, if there's any cars that might be available to lease or jump into, if people want to just fly down there and jump in a car. I don't know if there's any available to do that, but if there is, let us know, and maybe we could get a drive. Or something like that, maybe.
Something like that.
Well,
You'll be on your honeymoon.
oh,
you're
yeah,
busy.
I'm teaching monkeys how to mate. Apparently, through the window.
They eat poo too. Are you going to do that?
No, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do the same thing. Pick it up and throw it up.
They'll be extinct soon.
Seriously.
Watch your show?
No. No.
No,
She does sometimes.
Yeah.
no, she doesn't.
Anyway, guys, it has been a funny year. It's been a hard year for a lot of people. It's been difficult, but we got through it. We've how many shows we get through, Rob? Do you know?
19.
So, yeah, it was
shows.
close to
We're
20.
one show short of what we wanted to do. 20.
We're supposed to do 20.
20 was our target.
That said, we snuck in 10 E-Series events and a few other things as well, so we've surpassed by a long shot.
Absolutely.
And as we've said before many times, this doesn't happen without our fantastic sponsors, Osborne's Transport, Harvey's Towing and Mechanical, Sierra International, Ready Strip, Asset Plumbing, Kerway's Asphalt, Command Digital Signage, Hands on First Aid and Equity Views Construction. You guys, without you, we say it all the time, this doesn't happen. We appreciate everything you do for us. Hopefully we will all be back on board next year along with some new sponsors and to make the show bigger and better again. So
Absolutely, and look, we've got a lot to look forward to, and we're all excited, and I know that I'm looking forward to 2021. I think a lot of people are as well. The show, we've got some ideas behind it. We've got a different set.
Yeah, just
we've got
on
to look
those
forward to.
ideas, if there is an idea that you want us to do, like a segment or anything like that, please send us a message or email or anything. Whatever you guys would like to see on the show, that's why we do it for you guys. So if there's something you want, let us know. We'll try and do the best I can to do it. We have got a lot of ideas coming up for next year. We do want to be bigger and better, and it's only going to do that if you guys throw your support behind. Like all the comments tonight has been phenomenal. You guys are great. You're just giving all the feedback. That's why we love doing the show. We are trying to get the YouTube a bit better next year and expand a bit. We're going to get better equipment. Hopefully our producer picks his game up a bit.
we are on Instagram too. So
Well, even
Instagram,
that's got a lot of gears going at the moment. So we're getting a lot of cross sort of marketing there with people that are one way or another,
sort of hits
and
the younger people too, which is good. So
yeah, the peeps.
peeps.
Yeah, the peeps. Yeah.
Don't talk to me about saying
But look, for the show, we want to do some things. For the cars themselves, we've got a massive shout out. I'd just single out Trevor Penny as an individual that great to have involved from afar. He's been a bit of a light for us to know that he's in another country and not even able to get to the racetracks and see and enjoy what we've sort of got. But he's been a sponsor that has been great for us. What most of the people wouldn't know, and it's something we obviously do, but the show's its own entity. Our racing cars are self-funded. We're struggling as much as anyone else. Yep. Clearly not as much as Glenn, but
exactly.
we get to the track how we can and however we can. And if anyone wants to support the team as a cars,
a separate thing, by all means.
that's we put the stickers on and I make the stickers and we pay for it
as
ourselves.
you know, we haven't all raced all this year because we don't use any of the funds that we get from the show because it goes into the show. When we race, we're separate. We race for ourselves, so it's all our money. We don't use any of the money that people sponsor us to go racing. It's not for us. It's for HQ fraternity, and that's what we do. So it's definitely two separate identities. Okay,
We've got some room.
Yeah,
Room on some cars.
always room on the car.
Definitely room on
But
some
again,
cars.
to Raymond Osborne at Osborne Transport, your support from not just HQ Xtra but support around the world and in HQ racing around Australia, I should say, has been unbelievable. Thank you very much. I really appreciate Joe Andrzejewski from the Harvey Towing and Mechanicals up there with their family and Tegan and having a baby and everything, and COVID, and still your support was phenomenal again. Just brilliant. And like I said, Trevor Penny, you guys, they're our big major sponsors there. I just can't thank you guys enough.
And we're looking forward to next year.
Yeah,
Bigger and better.
absolutely.
We've had a cracking year and the opportunities that sort of gave us, and we're not totally done on what's happening next year yet. So
I know we got a lot of little things to do and
a lot of big things too.
a lot of things to polish up, and we'll get better. We will get better, and we will get better equipment. But again, it's only going to come down to the support. But don't forget, let's go racing. Get out to other states. Get to every club meeting you can. Get your views across. Tell them what you want. Do everything you want to be part of. Be active in HQ racing. That's what makes HQ racing better. Is when you're active.
And if you can get someone else involved, bring them along too, because the more people, the merrier.
Exactly right.
There's still cars in sheds.
There certainly is.
There's definitely cards in shit.
Still cars in sheds. So.
And just in case you didn't know, did anyone see my nomination trophy? I got nomination trophies. You can get nomination trophies.
Well, Glenn, thank you so much for coming in. Our current, or sorry, latest and newest New South Wales state champion. It's a massive honour for you, I'm sure, mate, and very well done, and it's totally.
Well deserved, mate.
Have you made a number one sticker yet?
No.
We'd like to thank you.
I actually started to try and peel the number 5 off, but it just left the 5 behind it.
We really
I don't know what I'm going to do with the big 5 on the roof now.
Yeah, true.
Just put another one over the top.
Maybe I might have to.
We do really appreciate you coming in tonight. Diane, your lovely partner, for coming along as well. It's been great having you guys. And we know you missed out on your normal Thursday night catch up at the pub, so
That's all right, mate.
we do appreciate you coming.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's my second visit. And,
It is. You're the first to be first person to come back.
yeah, lots of firsts for me. So
It's just been a year of
it's been,
first.
been a year of first. Been a struggle for some people, but luckily I've had a good one.
No, well done,
I'll
mate.
just do a quick shout out. This photo is actually from 3C6 Photography. It's from the H2 Xtra Cup, and we're lucky enough to have some of the guys there, and Jeff Barber, who originally built the car and won the state championship for that particular event as well. So that's
Yeah, that
just
was good, yeah.
a great one, and obviously Ricardo took the other shot
Chrono,
that's,
Beverly, yeah.
on the
That's a cracker.
day night
Yeah.
one.
That
So
is an
absolutely
absolute cracker of a
fantastic.
shot.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you guys for the year that it has been and the year that was, and Rob behind the scenes, and everyone else that's involved. And that's the thing that I get out of the year is there's people everywhere in every state that has been able to contribute many times over. So that's sort of where I get a bit of a tickle out of looking back over the year and sort of know that that's occurred. So yeah, big thanks to everyone.
Mate, we're family, and like all family, we all argue and have different views. We all come from different walks of life.
You should hear our Zoom meetings. Actually, no, you don't want to hear our Zoom meetings. You might get suspended.
And we all we definitely argue and carry on like pork chops sometimes. But I can't think of a better bunch of guys to do the show with. So yeah, the Rob, Jeff, Bucko, and Ian coming down and helping me out do this show.
Let's get some fast cars on the track.
Yeah, that'd be great,
That's
eh?
got to be our next year.
That's definitely, yeah. I definitely want to get.
Co-driver?
I didn't know you could drive.
Shit.
Oh, I thought you were out.
No,
Injured.
yeah.
I'll come
You
back.
won races, you're fine.
You'll fit in my seat.
I will.
Make sure you will.
Just to let you know, guys, too, we have a website on our website coming up soon. We do have dates. They're only tentative dates for all the other states that are around. Most of them, don't get me wrong, they're semi-locked in. Some will stay that way, some might not stay that way. So when we do put the state, all the states rounds up on the website, they are only tentative bookings, just in case you don't know. For all those guys that are definitely going down to Tassie, have a great race, get down there, and that's a great start for the year. But look at our website, get on our website, and we'll give you all the dates as soon as we possibly can. Anything else to fill in?
I think we've taken up enough of these
I think
people's times.
we've
Pretty
the
much.
show ever.
Yep. Oh, well, it's a Christmas special, and on behalf of HQ Xtra and all our guys here, we want to wish everyone in the HQ fraternity a very Merry Christmas and a very happy, safe New Year coming. And I hope your 2021 is a lot better than the 2020 that we had this year. But again, thank you very much for all your support. It was a tough year. We all got through it because we're all HQ fraternity family.
And remember,
If it ain't pinging,
Keep it singing. Well done, mate.
Merry Christmas, everybody, and a Happy New Year.
Have a good one, guys.